Summer in the city, a fast-paced city. It might not look it at first, but this is London dealing with a pretty big hangover. 2 months ago, nearly 60% of Londoners voted to remain in the European Union, but the rest of the country disagreed. And they'll carry one of the world's great capitals out of the European Union, eventually. Like most mornings after the night before, there's a certain amount of fog. Did it really happen? Or is there a more Bard-like solution available? Do yet we dream?
Life hasn't really changed so much at the moment. People are picking themselves up after the vote, and the next step is all going to be with the negotiations that might happen.
But London isn't just sitting back and waiting for it to happen. Far from it. This is a campaign called London is Open, a full frontal assault to counter any negative messaging the Brexit vote might have delivered to the outside world. Leading the charge, London's recently elected mayor, Sadiq Khan, using every opportunity he can to talk up the city and what he says it stands for.
Post the Brexit vote, an impression may be created outside our country that London will not be anymore an open-minded, outward-looking city, that we may become insular.
Hate crime in the United Kingdom jumped dramatically in the weeks just after the vote. Racist graffiti and messages telling immigrants to go home. Londoners, proud of the cosmopolitan nature of their city, draw a direct line from that to a Brexit campaign that focused heavily on stopping immigration.
Post-Brexit, people are a lot more, they think it's appropriate to say, you know, horrible things about skin colour and where a person's from.
Culture is the DNA of our city.
Combined with uncertainty over visas for EU citizens in the future, the mayor fears companies might be tempted to move their headquarters and their investment dollars elsewhere.
London's population is, roughly speaking, 8.6 million. Out of that, 1 million, roughly speaking, are Londoners who are originally from EU countries, France, Germany, Poland, Italy, Bulgaria. And what's really important is they hear from me loud and clear, they are welcome here.
London generates about 30% of the UK's main taxes, and the mayor is arguing that should give the city a place at the negotiating table when Britain starts its exit talks with the EU. He's even talking about London-specific work visas. But is London living in a bubble? When in doubt, ask a cabbie.
We don't know what's going to happen now we've left, but at least we've got control of our own destiny.
Jeff Maisie is a North Londoner, born and bred. He voted with the rest of the country to leave the EU.
We're not a mainland European country. We never have been, we never will be. We're an island. We're an island race.
Navigating the seas of London traffic as he does every day, he knows he's in a minority. Even his grandchildren voted to remain. Do you feel like a little out of step with your city in a way?
I never thought of that. I'll be honest with you, that thought's never crossed my mind. But it was a national vote, wasn't it? All the areas that voted to leave were up in the north of England. Most of them were in the north of England, the northwest, the northeast. Areas that have been maybe forgotten by London.
The Brexit vote has revealed some deep layers of resentment. Dave Hill writes for The Guardian, a left-leaning newspaper that backed the Remain campaign.
I think there is quite an interesting argument that the Leave vote was in some respect inspired by a long-standing resentment of London's dominance of the UK economy. And there's no two ways about it, it does dominate the UK economy. It can be read, I think, as just giving those flash Londoners a poke in the eye. Never mind the eye. There's another scenario, say Londoners, the one about cutting off your nose to spite your face. That's essentially Mayor Khan's message,
still outselling the city's virtues.
What's really important is that we recognise that if London does well, the rest of the country flourishes. Just like if other great cities in Canada do well, it's not at the expense of the rest of Canada.
I like maths, and also I like outer space, and I like being on my own.
More dreams, this time courtesy of the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. The National Theatre's hit production here. Sadiq Khan has enlisted the aid of dozens of West End plays for the London is Open campaign. James Mullen is the managing director, and Joseph Eyre plays the lead.
I think it was important that we let not just the rest of the world, but the rest of the UK know that we're still, nothing's changed. We're still here, we're still business as usual. We may have voted differently to the rest of the country, but so what?
The play is about a boy with autism, and Eyre says the message couldn't be more relevant.
This play, it's all about difference, and it's all about tolerance, and it's all about how you relate to something that you find no, relatable things with. It's about trying to make that connection with someone.
As the summer draws to a close and the hangover begins to fade, the reality of London's post-Brexit world will start to sink in again. Making those connections closer to home may well be crucial for the capital and the country. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.